Hello, and welcome to this webinar on the Performance Management Program. This video will give a brief refresher of the 2015-2016 PMP closeout. During this webinar, we will cover some key highlights about this year's PMP cycle. We will review the roles and responsibilities of coordinators, and if you will be entering information into the online PMP rating site, we will show you how you can access a brief training video to help you navigate and troubleshoot through that system. I want to start off by emphasizing some key messages about this year's PMP cycle. To make sure that we are in compliance with DPA rule, all supervisors are required to complete mandatory PMP training. This will occur each year prior to the start of the PMP cycle. For the 2015-2016 cycle, supervisors completed this in February. We just want to re-emphasize that final PMP ratings must be approved by the reviewer before those final ratings are communicated to the employee. If employees disagree with their final PMP rating, they are afforded the opportunity to engage in dispute resolution, where higher level authorities and a standing dispute resolution panel will review the evaluations to weigh in on the final PMP rating. The Human Resources contact for handling disputes is Vern Jackson, and his contact information is listed on the screen. We also want to emphasize that the PMP cycle does not begin until April 1st. Information entered prior to April 1st in the PMP online site will not be saved. The system will refresh on April 1st so that supervisors and coordinators can enter the rating information for this cycle. Supervisors may not begin conducting year-end discussions until April 1st. However, we do encourage that supervisors start scheduling the sessions on their calendars now for the period between April 1st to April 30th. And finally, any employee starting with CDHS after March 1st, 2016 will not be included in this PMP cycle. All other employees are included. Let's go over the timeline and required documentation for PMP. The annual PMP cycle goes from April 1st to March 31st each year. Final ratings are due to HR by April 30th. The actual PMP forms and other forms are due to be scanned to HR by May 31st. If there are any PMP disputes, you will still input the ratings and turn in the forms by the due date. And then if there are changes based on the resolution of those disputes, we make those changes individually. This is the list of the forms that need to be reviewed during the final PMP meeting. In particular, we really need to make sure we know who is on Flex Place agreement. Anyone who is on a Flex Place agreement needs to have this renewed each year. So please make sure if you have someone on Flex Place that you are updating this each year and sending in the forms along with the PMP forms. All of these forms are located on the CDHS intranet. Also, please note that you will need to send in certificates for mandatory reporter training for any of your new employees to the PMP cycle. This includes anyone that started after March 1st, 2015. All other employees that included the certificate with their paperwork last year will just need to have the certificate on file, but it does not need to be turned in. All of these forms need to be collected and collated and scanned to HR. And we're going to go over that process in more detail right now. It will be the same as last year if you were with us last year. So you will scan the documents to create a PDF file for each employee containing all the required documents collected for that individual. For example, if you have 10 employees, you will create 10 separate PDF files containing all of their PMP documents. We do ask that you use this naming convention here, the last name, first name, middle initial if they have one, your office abbreviation, and division name. And we have an example up on the slide: Parker, Peter A., OES, Refugee Services. Continuing with the scanning process, same as last year, we set up a separate email address just for sending PMP documents. In the subject line, please indicate whether you are in the Southern, Western, or Northern District. So your subject line may look like this: PMP documents, NW/D for Northwestern District, and make sure to include encrypt since these are confidential documents. Please email directly from your work Gmail account and not directly from a copier or scanner. And finally, you may attach multiple employees' files to one email. Just make sure you don't go over the size limit or the email won't send. We will turn next to the online PMP site. You will use this site to add each employee's rating and mark off that all documents have been received. We have a separate video to show you how to use this online system. It's located on the CDHS intranet. Go to the Human Resources page, then the PMP page, and under Training Resources on the PMP page, you will see a link to the video for the online PMP rating site. Here's a summary of how to access the system and what information you will be entering. There are two ways to log in for coordinators. You can either log in as yourself using your employee ID, and you will see a full list of all the supervisors you're taking care of along with their direct reports, or you can log in as each individual supervisor using the supervisor's ID, and then you will only see that particular supervisor's direct reports. Either way, you'll need to review the staff list and make updates. You will enter the ratings for each employee, mark off the documents that are collected, and then the ratings will be saved as you update them. So again, there is a video that will go into more detail about how to navigate through this online site. Go to the CDHS intranet, HR page, PMP page, and there will be a link there for that brief video. I want to thank you for watching today's refresher on the PMP closeout. I hope you found it useful and have a wonderful day.